We're very excited to host you, and welcome to all of our attendees. I think today we're excited to bring you something different, and very particularly, I'm also very excited that today we're going to start off with a wonderful agenda. But before we get there, I just want to introduce you to two of our co-panelists. We have Angela Kays, who is the lead investment promotion and investor relations at BPESA, and Yaron Asabi, who's the Digital Solutions Group founder and CEO. Welcome, Angela and Yaron. As part of our hidden sort of agenda today, I think there'll be some really interesting and amazing content that we're going to cover, but particularly, we're going to cover 6 areas that really speak to our hidden agenda today. And really, it'll cover sort of a couple of key areas. The first being BPESA, and really why Angela's here is to kind of speak to us about the South African value proposition, what that means, and why South Africa. And then following that, it'll be Yaron and I who will take you through a journey around Digital Solutions Group, why DSG, and very particularly why CXG, who's fundamentally Customer Experience Group, and we're a member of DSG. One of the things that Yaron and I often refer to is, after working together for 26 years, is that we're all about having serious fun, and we hope you'll have some serious fun with us today. Angela, if I could hand over to you now to take us through the South African value proposition, and in particular, what from your perspective, what does it mean in terms of South Africa? The opportunity, particularly in South Africa.
Thanks, Brandon. Hello to everybody. Thank you so much for making time today. My name is Angela Kays, and I'm the representative for BPESA. Now, BPESA is the industry association, the National Industry Association for South Africa. And our role really is to support our members. We're a member-based organisation, so support our members like DSG, and also to work with you as potential investors into South Africa. And we do that in a number of ways, but really it's around promoting what South Africa has to offer, which is what we're hoping to do today, and also assisting you in coming into the country and finding your way around, finding the right partners, which is what we're here to do today in terms of talking to DSG and also the other partners in South Africa. We've recently undergone a refresh to our value proposition. So I'm excited actually to be on the call today, because not only do we've managed to maintain the really good work that's been done and the reason why you should come to South Africa, but also we've managed to expand that mandate as well, which is very exciting, because you'll see a little bit later in the presentation from DSG the fantastic things that are happening in this space, in the sector, in terms of digital and IT advancements. So the image you can see on the screen at the moment is really around pulling that value proposition together. And luckily for us, it makes the word impact. But we started really with infrastructure. So many of you who will have already been to South Africa will know the infrastructure and the quality of the infrastructure. And that's really been the reason why we've been able to grow the market in the way that we have. What's also important around infrastructure, not just on the IT side, but also the support that's given by government. And when I talk about government, I'm talking about the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition. I'm also talking about the presidency, so that's the Office of the President, who regards this sector as a priority sector, which is important in terms of the support that we give not only to our companies based in South Africa, but also the support that's given to you as well. So that's very key. And in terms of BPESA as an organisation, we advocate for the sector and we make sure that it stays top of priority in terms of the many other priorities that government has. So that's very keen to say. Also, what's really important is the global standards and the value proposition. And again, you will hear a little bit more about this later from DSG, but the value proposition in terms of how we are able to maintain those global standards. We follow the global standards, And also as a result of that, you will see that there has also been an expansion into the rest of Africa in terms of the contact center, global business services space offerings. But most of what you will see rolled out in other countries has originated with South Africa. And we work very much as part of the continent in terms of those standards and compliance. And I'm talking things like compliance like ISO 18925. So those sort of things. Again, in the value proposition, we expand on that. But that's the reason why we've been so successful, that the work that's sent here, there is a sense that we are compliant and that we can deliver that work back to you. So that's very, very key. Mature, the M is really mature in a very good way, in the same way that a very good wine can be mature, but mature in a way that the market, we have been in the space now for over 25 years. And the offering from South Africa has grown in terms of our experience, in terms of how we skill our people, and in terms of the work that's delivered from South Africa. So that's really, really key. And originally, a lot of the work that was being sent here was on the sales side. What you'll see now is that we are extremely competent. We have awards and accolades on the customer service side. That's been very, very important. But I mentioned in the beginning, really important, we're moving towards the tech-enabled space. We're not moving towards it, it's actually here. We're in the middle of it and hoping to lead it as well on the continent. And then also in terms of capabilities, I've mentioned around what's happening in the digital and IT space, but also, of course, what's happening in the AI space. No webinar would be complete without mentioning that word. So that's also key in terms of where the work is coming from and the sort of work we're delivering. P is around the people side. That really hasn't changed. South Africa is about the people. People have been centered to the work, obviously, and to our success. So that's key. And there isn't a day goes by when we don't host visitors where that's the first thing that's commented on. And again, when you site visit, you'll see that, you'll feel it immediately. And a lot of our clients and our investors into South Africa, they comment on that from the moment they arrive to when they walk into the call center, the conversations they hear, etc. Also, in terms of the value proposition, of course, we guarantee that service excellence that's delivered back to you. And again, you will hear a little bit more about that later when DSG brings these words to life, just in terms of the CSAT scores, the NPS, etc. Cost arbitrage, I'll talk about that in a moment on another slide. And then tactical advantage, I've touched on it in terms of how we're leading with South Africa. But in terms of our regional positioning, we have been setting the standards. What does happen on the continent, in South Africa in particular, we're the second busiest airport in Johannesburg in terms of connectivity and people coming through. And what that means is that you are able to access other markets as well. And of course, in terms of accessing South Africa, OR Tambo, Johannesburg, the busiest, Cape Town becoming busier and busier, and Durban really driving connectivity as well. Could I have the next slide? Thanks, Nadine. I just also wanted to touch on what's happening in terms of the markets and the how we're split. But at the moment, we are mainly driven by the BPO centres, so the outsourcing centres, global, and those local that are now growing exponentially in terms of the services that have been offered. And then also, of course, we do have a large captive. The one thing about South Africa, which is very good, is that we not only have the international space, but we also have the skills from a very strong domestic space as well. And that's good for you in terms of the international clients in the international space, because what it actually means is that you have a large pool to actually choose from. And also you'll see there the growth on the left-hand side. At the moment, we've got approximately 150,000 agents that are servicing the international space. And I'll talk a little bit more on the next slide about the talent and what we have. Nolene, can I have the next slide? So just moving on, in terms of talent available, some of you will know that we do have a high unemployment rate, especially in the youth 18 to 35. But that's exactly the reason why we have been advocating to government for this sector. It's exactly why government supports the sector, and the reason why the regions, the main regions, which Cape Town is the largest at the moment, then you have Durban and Johannesburg. But more recently, in the last the last year, we've actually seen rapid growth in Port Elizabeth, which is now called Gqeberha. So a lot of things happening in those different regions, but that's why this is such an important sector. And you can see there the numbers in terms of the graduates that are available, the English speaking. I would say English speaking the first language because it's the business language. So and that's really been the reason why we attract business in from the UK primarily, but also in from the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, etc. So that's also been a very strong selling point. Our graduate pool is large. You can see the numbers there. And in terms of attrition, it does vary. When we refreshed the value proposition, we conducted a number of interviews and it did vary, but we settled on that for the annual attrition. But I do know companies that have got a lot less than that. And I think it also depends on the campaigns and etc. So that's really just to give you an overview there. These are just some of our clients, some of our members, some of the companies that are operating. And of course, you will know many of them. You will be able to see global operators, large local operators that now have really are really dominating the scene in terms of the international scene, and of course some local companies as well. Nolene, can I have the last slide? Thank you. And then just to give you an idea, just in terms of cost arbitrage, we took in the value proposition, we took the 3 cities. We took Manchester, Sydney, and Dallas. And those cities, we were just having a look at the pricing, the cost to do business, etc. In terms of the UK, this webinar is actually good timing because we've just returned from the UK. But the feedback we got there is really in terms of what's happening with the minimum wage rising, the national insurance rising, and the 1.2% doesn't look a lot until you have a lot of people working with you. So the message that we got back from those companies that we met is really how South Africa can support your business, because if you look at your business models, some of them are no longer sustainable when you've got rising costs. So a lot of the companies we spoke to and a lot of the interaction was really around how can South Africa support your business by being able to offer the skills, the variety of the skills, so not just on the voice side, but also on the digital and IT side. And as I mentioned in the beginning, that is now rising, and we see really strong examples, which of course DSG will bring to life in terms of the case studies that you're about to see. The value proposition spoke, obviously it gave examples for Manchester, 55%, but it also spoke about what's happening here in South Africa. So you can see there on the screen, 4 to 6% rise in wages, 5 to 7 for IT. And you'll be able to work that out for yourself in terms of your business model and what it could mean to that. And then we also just included some figures, facts and figures on the macroeconomic stability, quality of infrastructure, etc. But it's a strong value proposition. It underpins the work that our companies are doing. And we just really wanted to be able to speak to you today just to give you a taster of what South Africa has to offer. So I'm now going to hand back, but thank you for your time. It's much appreciated, and I'd be happy to field any questions at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. That was great. I'd like to tell you a little bit about DSG. DSG stands for Digital Solutions Group, but also doing something great. And it's, as Brandon mentioned earlier, it's the company, the holding company for the Customer Experience Group. In our mission statement, we state that we partner with our customers to build comprehensive solutions which innovate business relationships to yield mutual return on investment. And that's very, very important for us. Most of our customers have been with us for more than 10 years, so we really truly partner with them. We're very proud of our relationship with Nando's for the last 25 years, and not only serving them in South Africa, but serving them across the world, whole of Africa, Middle East, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. And we started to do some business in Canada and the US as well. So our people, as already mentioned, and diverse technology enable anywhere, anytime access to products and services, ensuring a customer-centric focus. And you can see that part of our mission statement is this customer centricity and our focus on great customer experience and doing something great. Across Africa, we've got offices, multiple geolocated offices for redundancy, which is very important when you're considering your contact center services to make sure that you get maximum uptime. So in Johannesburg, we've got 2 sites. We've got a site in Seychelles, 2 in Cape Town, and 1 in downtown Johannesburg, where we sponsor a free university in Newtown, the Maharishi Institute. And we're able to serve clients. If one of the sites goes down, we automatically overflow to the other site. So we have a lot of redundancy built in. We've won many awards over the years. I'm not going to get into our whole rich history of 27 years, but I just want to mention some key highlights. As already mentioned, we were founded in 1998. Customer Experience Group was there right from the beginning. At the time, it was very much around focusing on supporting e-commerce and mobile commerce activities, which was the bulk of our business from digitalmall.com. We sold to a company called iTouch, which was part of the Independent News and Media Group, the independent newspaper in the UK, and listed on the FTSE. We were a FTSE 100 company in 2000, in June. And post the market crash at the end of 2001, my team and I decided to do a management buyout. It didn't make sense to remain part of a FTSE listed company. But the fact that we've got the experience and that we are planning another FTSE listing in the future, I think it's quite exciting for international investors, especially from the UK, you know, how stringent the market is and how difficult it is to IPO your company on the FTSE. We've got a lot of experience in working in mobile space. We helped launch multiple mobile network operators across Africa. We've also diversified and incorporated a marketing as a service business in 2012 called Broadbrand, as opposed to broadband. And Broadbrand has got a lot of international customers. We've got customers all over the world. We've got a crypto business in the US called True.io, where we actually offer full managed services, including development services as well as contact center services. We have enabled mobile virtual network operators. So we have an MVNE in the group, which we started in 2013. And in fact, Canal Plus recently acquired a company called MultiChoice in Africa, which is the largest pay TV company. And now the newfound joint venture or wholly owned subsidiary of Canal Plus is the largest pay TV company in Africa, and they outsource their MVNO to us, DSTV Internet. And we've developed lots of other MVNOs in fintech, financial services, for football clubs. So if that type of BPO appeals to your business and you're looking at mobile virtual network operations anywhere in the world, I think it's very cost effective to outsource that to South Africa, and we're able to fulfill that. In 2018, we decided to start a cybersecurity business called Digital Resilience. We felt that a lot of the skills were leaving South Africa and we needed to invest in skills. So we do offer managed services and a security operations center, SOC, through Digital Resilience. And we've got a lot of international customers that we support from a cybersecurity perspective. And last year, we decided from our cybersecurity experience to launch a very unique cyber insurance business called eInsura, which allows you to, as you mitigate the risk, the insurance premium becomes more rewarding and discounted based on how you mitigate the risk. And that product is specifically designed for international rollout. We actually registered the company in the US, and we service identity insurance, crypto wallet insurance, and corporate and SME insurance. So quite an interesting, diverse portfolio of products that you may be interested in as well. So that's a bit of an overview of the group, our history and success. If we go to the next slide, Nolene. We've won lots of awards over the years. And I think what's important about this slide is not so much all the different awards that we won, but the consistency. Since we started in 1998, we were already voted the best e-commerce solution provider in South Africa. And over the years, the Customer Experience Group specifically has consistently won the top support service provider, technical innovation, best customer experience. So we're really, really proud of our achievements. This year, we finalists for a few more awards. So we're really excited about the next couple of months. It's award season. So hopefully we'll win a few more in 2025. If we go to the next slide. So really, DSG serves and manages digital transformation for large consumer-facing brands, and we're responsible for the execution of their strategy. I think what's unique about our group is that we start with an Excel spreadsheet. We always like to help companies either make more money or become more efficient. In this case, when it comes to outsourcing, you're always looking to save money, and that's very, very important. We have a hybrid work environment. So apart from having multiple offices, a lot of our staff are working from home, and we handle over 3 million interactions a month. We do impact sourcing. And I think that the BPESA slide fits really nicely into our strategy around impact, because we really remain focused on impact sourcing, changing people's lives. A lot of the talent at DSG started in the contact center as the breeding ground for talent, straight out of school or while they were at university. And then while they were studying, they were learning and earning. And today, a lot of them have gone into development, into cybersecurity. So there's a wonderful career path from an impact sourcing perspective within our group. Next slide, please, Nolene. I'll talk a little bit about our service model. If you go to the next slide, we represent a lot of big international companies in our cybersecurity business. We represent McAfee exclusively in Africa and Middle East. We work with Securonics, with a company called True.io, from Boseron from Canada, Innerworks from the UK, Circuit from Ireland, Ardetto, which is part of MultiChoice, was based in Amsterdam. So we bring a diversified portfolio of solution providers from all around the globe to service our clients' security and data management needs. We also have amazing partners on the behavior, customer experience, and marketing automation. And we've developed our own IP in this space as well, a product called Zenite. So we represent Sentience, which is the company that built some really unique technology in telematics that Uber uses in their app, and built the source code for a lot of marketing as a service kind of companies and unique technologies. And then in telco and enterprise and government, we have amazing solutions. As I mentioned, international. Lumen, for example, is a Canadian company. Palatro, an Indian company out of the UK. Pharos is a South African company, and Globatom, a South African company. So we have a wonderful array of our own IP and third-party IP that we bring to the table, and some really strong partnerships to make a complete integrated customer experience and digital transformation solution. Go to the next slide. So really what's unique about DSG, to summarize our service offering and our service model, is how we match the back end and the front end. So from an integrated customer experience strategy, which is one of the most critical success factors in business today, is to have great customer experience, to business and tech consulting. I mentioned we start with an Excel spreadsheet. We want to make sure that there's a commercial viability and that it makes a lot of sense. And our customers, it's part of our mission statement, get return on investment. System integration. Very important for an integrated customer experience to make sure that every single customer touch point is aligned. And then digital transformation, service design, and UX. We provide data analytics, a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning infused systems to improve on the customer experience and automate where possible. We provide creative design, digital media and mobile through board brand, marketing automation and personalization. And today's sales, marketing, and service are really very, very closely linked. I already mentioned MV&E, where appropriate and where it makes sense, and digital resilience, which is also a critical success factor, and the foundation of every business now needs to protect itself and its customers. And we provide great standards as well as great technology to be able to fulfill that need. So overall, it's all about doing something great, simplifying the experience for our customers, and providing an end-to-end solution for our customers. Next slide.
Excellent. Thanks, Yaron.
Pleasure.
Okay, so I think Yaron and Angela, thank you. I think when we look at overarchingly from a digital solutions group point of view, extremely strong proposition that's supportive of what we drive across various business units. And when we look at Customer Experience Group very particularly, we know that part of our service model is really geared to supporting organizations, typically large corporate consumer-facing brands. And what we do is we bring the expertise across what you've heard in terms of the group, but then we provide a unified omni-channel experience. And for us, what we do is, we remove those technical complexities out of the work that we drive. So often or not, we would manage a fully integrated customer experience. And you'll hear us saying that often, because the reality is that across that value chain and the support that's required from a customer experience, we provide that, in totality. In summary, our operating model too really is about providing an organization with the ability to switch on channels, touch points, etc. It's irrelevant in our world, as and when their consumer experience requires it. But it's really about driving, I think, three key things. We talk about the sales, service, and marketing. And for us, those are three key elements. And the secondary parts is making certain that those organizations we work with, whether they need campaigns, research, interaction management, or there's a particular piece of BPO work that's required, for us, it's about simplification. And the secondary part is where we're driving a set of engagement, we drive what we often refer to as the lifetime value and wallet share. Those are extremely important to us. And then in closing, I think particularly on this slide is very specifically where we talk about our skilled people. And the reality of that is that we have a significant set of talent in South Africa that, we literally bring to the table as part of our proposition. We can go to the next slide, please. Thank you, Nolene. So where we look at it, we look at driving an integrated experience. We unlock that exceptional customer experience. And as a BPO, we obviously, from our perspective, know that we're about creating those meaningful experiences that change lives. The reality is we all often talk about the people, the process, technology, the insights, the learning, all of these elements drive a large portion of what we do in terms of these large local and global corporate consumer-facing brands. So that's really as part of our mission. But if you can go to the next slide for me. And effectively, there's sort of four key areas, and I think we bring to the table, and often or not, the diversity across our group allows for us to really enhance the industry expertise we bring to the table. We spoke about, and Yaron's touched on, MVNE as one of our business. That business brings about significant sets of expertise in terms of skill in a particular vertical or industry in the telco space. And then we marry that expertise with our expertise as Customer Experience Group. And that really allows for us to provide tailored experiences that are specific to needs. The second is our services are comprehensive. So, we provide end-to-end solutions. We have not only both a UCaaS and a CCaaS. And for those, we talk about the unified experience, but also then about the as a service. We provide it as a service that allows for you to expand that digital transformation. And often or not, it's about merging those in a succinct way that drives business growth. Again, for us, Yaron said it very succinctly, we're about either making money or understanding how do we be more efficient, or alternatively, what do we drive as an enhanced customer experience. The other part, and I think we've touched on the talent, we talk about global reach and local talent. We're very proud of our localized approach, but we also have individuals that sit across our teams that as a group, but also in CXG, that bring about different sets of experience, whether it be across the continent in terms of Africa or globally. And that team really, not only just when you speak to servicing, but also are able to bring particular sets of expertise from different regions. We also have what we call finally, our approach is often or not partnership and it's very collaborative. We often refer to us become an extension of your business, an extension of your brand, an extension of your team. And the reality of that is that, for us, it's an important part of the strategic development with you to understand what the business objectives are. What is it that we need to create that drives an enhanced customer experience? And more importantly, how do we collaborate with you to ensure that we're delivering and meeting some of those particular sets of targets and or KPIs and or particular sets of outcomes. So that really is a quick summary around the customer experience group. If you could move to the next slide, please. In addition to that, we know that today, Anjali touched on it, AI, etc. The reality of it is that it needs to be utilized responsibly, is the first part. But in addition to that, we know that when you talk to an integrated customer experience, that digital forms a significant part of that. And the reality is here is we drive a particular set of engagement that is digitally enhanced, across the life cycle, in terms of the organization that we're supporting. The secondary part is understanding, what sets of technology apply and how do we utilize that set of technology to enhance the customer experience. And in addition to that, there's a number of sets of wonderful new sets of technology that, we've often or not in our heritage and history have always, led with some of these innovations. And today, we're seeing the market is catching up with some of those digital innovations. But effectively, we know today that we have key sets of AI functions that have performed all the way from sentiment analysis to auto QA. There's some really cool things that we drive as part of that set of engagement. In addition to that, we also talk about ITSM and SNOC, so both security and a network operations center. We have skills in that, and particularly in that vertical. And really does provide for an enhanced set of experiences, particularly when you talk to service improvement and insights and reporting across that domain. And then the final is what we refer to as the consulting component. So how do we assist and provide a set of services whilst we're going through this journey? And Nadine, if you can go to the next one for me, please. Brilliant. So just a quick summary of our offerings, and I think these are really just top line, and I think it's just to capture so that you have a clear view on what we offer. But really, we talk about that omni-channel support. For us, it's providing that unified experience, a single CX, or what we refer to as a single customer view, which drives enhancements and also makes certain that you're able to start viewing the sets of contacts very differently, but also more importantly, managing a set of communication pieces of work very differently. We also provide full contact center services, so the sales, service, and technical support. We have a wealth of experience, particularly in the technical services sector and the customer experience domains. We provide a number of services in those areas. We've touched on some of the AI and automation, but particularly where we talk about chatbots, how to manage those workflows and automation, improving speed and CSAT. It's an area that we have really deployed a number of our large clients, off late, where we're enhancing that set of experience and experience design. The other is custom experiences. So when we look at those, we go, well, what does the journey look like? How do we improve it? What are we seeing from the voice of the customer? What does that CSAT look like? And what do we need to do to lift either the NPS and or CSAT in terms of those organizations? I've already touched on the IT service desk side. And then lastly, cloud CRM and BI. And it really does form part of what we offer. We provide a fully managed solution. And really, it's about, making certain that whatever your particular sets of need as an organization are, that we are aligned to those. All right, if you can go to the next one for me, please. Great. So often enough, we talk about value, driving value, and how do you drive value, particularly for us, lifetime value, wallet share. How do you make certain that we talk about client happiness? What are all these elements that we drive as part of our partnership value? And the first one that I want to start with is the largest number one pay TV operator outside of China, so effectively the largest. And Jeroen touched on it a bit earlier in his presentation. But today there are 40 million subscribers in 70 countries, 18.3 million Pan-African subscribers in 50 countries. And the solution that we provide today, it touches on a significant set of support. Now, in our world, we view this as one of the most successful MVNOs in South Africa. It not only addresses a specific lifestyle in terms of entertainment, but also data needs, and we literally kind of marry the two. So it's what we refer to as where telco and entertainment meet. But the reality is that we provide a fully converged billing platform, customer management platform, and really that service operating model for us, with over 300 FTEs and over 300,000 conversations per month, just on one of the particular channels, is significant. And let me share with you why it's significant. We have to deliver a particular set of CSAT that exceeds 86%. Currently, we refer to it now as CHAP, or client happiness. That's at 90% plus. Our shrinkage needs to sit at 5%. We operate between 3 and 4%. Attrition, no more than 7. We operate at about 4 to 5%. We need to drive 9,000 leads per month across 2 sets of work and 3,200 sales activations. And the reality of why I'm sharing this with you, and then obviously an FRT of 17 seconds on the chat facility. So, or chat channel, I should say. And why are these significant? We talk about the sales, service, and marketing components. And inside of this, we're managing a set of experiences that are driven across not only sales, but also the service component in terms of when things don't go well. But also then there's the marketing component where, broad brand drives a set of engagements, particularly around, the bringing and driving customer acquisition. Today we know it's one of the largest and most successful MVNOs, and that's driven as a fully digital solution that we provide. It's not just about the one element, it's not just about the customer experience, it's about the full value proposition that we offer and provide in this particular scenario. If we can go to the next one, please. I think for us, when we talk about delivering a value for retail customers, for us, we're engaged with one of the largest retail parcel movers, and really, here we talk about 2,800 parcel points, 15,500 businesses that are supported both with counter-to-counter and door-to-door. And we offer an integrated and seamless customer experience. And really that, if you were to just look at some of their success, in the half year of 2025, they've moved 3.3 million parcels. In their financial year 2024, 5.7 million parcels. And we manage a significant amount of interactions. And really, there's 3 key areas that we drive for them, which is firstly, it's driving a customer experience that really speaks to the audience that we're engaged with. And really what we do is we provide a set of channels that are supportive of self-service productivity, whether it be WhatsApp and or IVR. And where we talk to 70% self-service productivity, it's engineered that way. It's designed that way to ensure that we're looking at the set of flow that happens. How do we enhance that experience, but making certain that we still have teams available when support is required. Fundamentally here, the work is about driving a set of engagement that provides self-service, but then the ability to speak to us. We talk to 75,000 5-star CSAT reviews. And they're will probably eclipse 100,000 shortly, and 92% CSAT, and typically sort of average handle time on WhatsApp is 17 minutes when it does reach us. So know that we're managing the complexity of the customer experience, but driving significant engagement. If you can go to the next slide for me, this will share with you just some of the experience with one of the largest retailers that we support, and we'll share with you the reason for our meaningful partnerships and the work we do.
What stood out the most about working with DSG during the PEP launch?
What really stood out to me since the launch has been DSG's proactiveness and ability to anticipate challenges before they escalated. They've shown a genuine commitment to improvement, consistently looking for ways to refine process and enhance outcomes. Their dedication to the success of the launch was clear from the start, not just in meeting the deadlines, but in really going the extra mile to ensure quality and alignment with our shared goals. What I've appreciated most is the collaborative spirit and openness to feedback, which made this partnership feel not just transactional, but truly strategic.
How has our approach to integrated customer experience supported your business and its operational efficiency?
Your approach has streamlined our operations, reduced inefficiencies, and improved response times. This has not only enhanced customer satisfaction, but also boosted overall operational efficiencies in the call center, bringing value to our client.
From your perspective, how has this transformation impacted the customer experience and strengthened your brand promise?
This transformation has not only elevated our customer experience, but also delivered measurable business impact. By making interactions more seamless and consistent, customers have greater trust in the brand, leading to stronger loyalty and higher retention. At the same time, the ability to deliver promises has strengthened Paxie's credibility in the market.
Based on the strong start, how do you see us continuing to add value in the months and years ahead?
We definitely had a strong start. I see the partnership continuing to add value through ongoing innovation, proactive problem solving, and commitment to continuous improvement. by staying closely aligned to our evolving business needs and our customer expectations. DSG will help us to adapt quickly and remain competitive. The combination of agility, collaboration, and focus on measurable outcomes will keep driving meaningful impact and long-term success.
Excellent. So you would see that, that as part of the launch and our commitment, continues. And I think we've driven a large set of body of work in that particular example. And the second part is that we've also saved them a significant amount of money, particularly during the transformation. Here we talk about the largest South African export, meaningful mid to large scale global chain, where we support 1,000 turn restaurants. Well, apologies, but there's 1,000 turn restaurants and 1,000 turn restaurants in 30 countries. We support South Africa currently. And really, we drive a significant set of work. In particularly here, we talk about a 95% plus service level, 15-minute app engagement response, and a CSAT that exceeds 4.67. So really, it's enhancing again the sales experience, and then also the rescue or the service side. So when something happens, our team are there to make sure we're part of the rescue phase. But really, we talk here about 60,000 orders being placed a month. That project commenced nearly 8 years ago, actually now. And it's been significant in terms of the revenue that we bring to the table, and we drive a significant experience in terms of both average basket, but also then what we talk about is that upsell and premium experience. We can move to the next one, please. The other is what we refer to as integrated loyalty experiences. And I think, one of the organizations that we support very specifically, where we talk to best loyalty program in terms of restaurants with a QSR sector, CDR. And really, it's an organization that operates in 14 countries. And, their sort of revenue sits at about 2 billion rand. And really, here it's about driving an integrated omnichannel experience and loyalty. Now, the loyalty side really is one that speaks to not only, managing a base of 32% being economically active in terms of the sets of service we provide, but also then the 25% used by 25% of the mass market. But effectively, our role in this is to ensure that we're providing a set of services in terms of that loyalty. And that the secondary part is also a very key component around fraud and making certain that the loyalty program is managed effectively. And then in addition to that, we have an integrated experience solution we provide too. So, again, very meaningful in terms of what we provide as a set of services. We can go to the next one. Right, and I think just in closing, mindful that we want to leave some time for questions and answers. And, we spoke about doing something great. And also right at the beginning on the first slide, you would have seen we also talk about getting stuff done. But if you were to go to the next slide, we'll kind of share with you just some of the top line initiatives that we have. But really what for us, is really important is about a partnership approach that really transforms the traditional BPO into an educational powered employment ecosystem that drives value and social progress. And what does that mean? Fundamentally, we have an Elevate Learn and Earn program. And that program is fundamentally in two sections. The first is elevation around education. So often or not, a lot of the team and individuals that work as part of CXG and across the group have access to learning. There's a learning platform where they're able to elevate themselves. There is a particular need from our perspective in terms of, written as part of the individual's progress with us, that they need to cover particular sets of content and courses of their own choosing and what we require. So that's the first part. And the second is that we also talk about driving programs that, address some of the historically disadvantaged backgrounds through a Learn and Earn program. So really, it's about a student talent pipeline that we have available through our enterprise BPO model. The second is a sustainable funding in terms of why we do this, in terms of the Learn and Earn. It's really about driving commercial success that fuels and contributes to the sustainability of the program with the Maharishi Institute. And then the third is really what we refer to as the purpose in practice. And that's really the BPO Skills Academy work that we also drive. And yes, very particularly with their recent sets of success, around 25 learners that have gone through an educated process and then placed across the sector. But for us, very specifically, we leverage them, in partnership. And again, it's all about doing something great because we're creating jobs, but also then what we refer to as we're changing people's lives. And that's just a quick summary on our doing something great approach. And thank you for your attention and joining us today. So maybe we can jump over to the questions and answers. Quickly checking. Okay, great. So I see there is a particular question. It says, in what ways have you transformed feedback from something feared to something valued with your team? A very great question. You know, where you talk about feedback, often or not, that feedback is significant. You find, you know, when you're managing a set of engagement that, you know, often or not, the set of let me phrase it this way. You would have heard in that particular video interview that we're very open and receptive to change and feedback. And for us, that feedback allows for us to transform ourselves as an organization. So CXG and Digital Solutions Group often listen to that set of feedback and say, well, how do we transform and what do we do? Practical example is where we're building particular sets of products. We may go, hold on a second, there's some significant value that we're obtaining. And let's onboard that set of value in terms of feedback so that we can enhance what we're delivering. Just checking if there's any others. See. Second. I'm not seeing any other questions. Is there anybody else that maybe wants to throw a question at us? Let's see. Okay. That's it. I think, you know, we again want to thank you for your time today. Angela, thank you for joining us. You're on. Appreciate it. Appreciate the insights at a group level. Angela, thank you for sharing the refreshed value proposition. Yep, thank you very much for joining today. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brendan. Thanks, Sharon. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, Angela. Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All the best. Cheers.